Welcome to Rock DIY or Do It You. If you do it, then it's all you. The router and the sled can be used to either clear to flatten a piece of wood, or you can actually use the router sled if you're going to engrave something into a piece of wood. The sled itself is made out of oak, so it's pretty solid, sturdy, but I do recommend that you check it to make sure that it remains straight. The weather conditions will definitely wreak havoc on wood. This is just an example to set up a router on a sled, but these 2x4s that are running lengthwise right here are not secured in any fashion right now, but this is basically where your router sled will basically slide across the top, and it's okay if it doesn't remain straight. On the outside edge of the router sled, you can see this little lip right here. This is basically to keep the sled from sliding off the rails that you are using to work on routing a project. The router sled is specifically made for this particular Craftsman router. And also this plate right here is custom fitted so that it actually sits inside the router sled. And then the router actually attaches to this plate with 3 screws from the bottom side. The router sled is set up so that you can move the router left and right on the router sled, but the router sled as a whole can slide across your supports. So it gives you pretty much freedom of movement where you need to go with the router. On the router sled, when the router is attached to the plate that slides within the grooves on the router sled, the handles are oriented left to right, because for this particular router model, if I turn the handles the other way, I would not be able to slide the router freely left and right. I also have the router oriented so that the viewing window is to the front side so that I can actually see the work that I'm doing. Whenever you're working on a piece that you're routing, I highly recommend that you secure the piece. Depending on whether you want to put screws directly through the piece into your worktop, but if you're not going to, you can secure screws on these blocking pieces in order to keep them secure. By not securing the piece you're working on, you're going to be subject to having some issues with whatever you're routing. You can use clamps or any other method to secure a piece. I just highly recommend that it's secured. Just keep in mind that depending on the type of clamp that you may use, the clamp may impede the use of the sled and the router. In most cases, if I can make something without having to buy it, then I will. I absolutely enjoy creating things, and even though my projects may not always come out perfect, but as long as they serve their purpose, I'm good with that. The fact that I make it myself is what makes it so satisfying. Saving money when possible is satisfying as well. Thanks for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. I hope this video motivates you to take on future DIY projects. There's nothing more satisfying than completing a project on your own. Please like, comment, or subscribe. Thanks again.